Tonight on CTV News at 11:30. The military has moved into the town of Hearst.
If you can fight in the cold, you can fight anywhere in the world because it's the hardest thing to do.
We'll have more on the exercise they are calling Glacial Arrowhead. Plus, Canada needs $20 million for the fiscal year.
I don't have a lot of faith that this solves the problem.
The college is now in the midst of what it calls an organizational review. And this weekend, the world will stop to mark International Women's Day.
The energy in this room has just been so uplifting and empowering.
But some are getting an early start to the celebrations.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for staying up with us. A 48-year-old North Bay man is facing several charges following a drug bust earlier this morning in the 300 block of Regina Street. According to investigators with the North Bay Police Service, more than $32,000 in drugs, including cocaine, fentanyl, and hydromorphone, was seized. The police also said they found brass knuckles, ammunition, and more than $11,000 in cash. The individual remains in custody waiting for a bail hearing. Two men charged with serious crimes from 2022 were in Sudbury court today to deal with legal matters before their trial gets underway next month. Joel Roy faces 2 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of second-degree murder, while Kevin Lamoureux is also charged with murder. Details from court today are protected under a publication ban. The case involves the fatal shooting of 2 men at the Travelodge Hotel on Paris Street, December 20th, 2022. Also connected is the 2022 death of a Southern Ontario man whose body was found in a wooded area in April 2023. The trial starts April 7th. A judge has affirmed a $3.6 billion settlement for claims under the Robinson Superior Treaty. The money is being awarded as compensation for breaching the treaty on annuity payments, which were intended to increase but never did. After 6 months of negotiations, First Nations felt as if the resolution and negotiations were not done honorably as directed by the Supreme Court.
We have comments in the decision by Justice Hennessy that much of the process was not up to snuff. But on balance, he said, and this is the conclusion, on balance, the amount is within the ballpark. So the process, not so much the result within the ballpark. Supreme Court of Canada said both the process and the result had to be honorable. And so whether or not there's an appeal or not, my clients have to consider whether or not to appeal.
The 30-day appeal period began February 27th. The province did not respond to our request for comment, citing the appeal period. However, the federal government said it respects the First Nations' decision to seek a review. Well, if you're in Hearst, you may have seen them. Canadian Army reservists are wrapping up a 9-day winter exercise in the area. The goal to protect Canada's Arctic if ever called upon. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more tonight from Hearst.
Army reservists are entrenched in Hearst, engaged in a winter warfare exercise.
If you can fight in the cold, you can fight anywhere in the world because it's the hardest thing to do.
They set up a command center in the town's fire hall to maintain communication with 3 platoons positioned in the Arctic watershed north of Constance Lake First Nation. Major Mark Richardson is the commanding officer for the tactical portion of the operation.
This is exercising defensive tactics. So we are holding a position to prevent a notional or pretend enemy force from advancing south towards the community of Hearst. So we are protecting this road from an advancing enemy force.
About 170 reservists are here to rehearse warfighting skills in a sub-zero climate in the event of being called to serve. Hearst was chosen this year from a dozen locations for its austere environment and its proximity to the Trans-Canada Highway.
This is my first trip to Hearst, but we do these exercises every year as part of a large reserve mobilization to practice our warfighting skills in the Arctic and subarctic environment. Well, it was very cold when we got here. It was minus 45 and very challenging conditions, but we persevered through and did our job.
This has taught me a lot about managing myself and others as well. So if you're cold and you're getting cold, you're not going to be very helpful to everybody else if you're suffering. So keeping accountability of yourself and then also checking in on your friends, because if they're cold, they might not say it, or if people aren't complaining, typically that's a bad sign. They're suffering in silence, and you don't want that.
It's something that increasingly is important as the world politics evolve, and so we just want to be prepared should we need to defend Canada or respond to anything domestically as well.
Training in this location also presents the unique opportunity to learn skills from the Canadian Rangers.
Survive off in the land, or how do you properly maneuver through the snow, how to build fires, how to check the ice, what else could there be? How to properly take down trees, how to properly look for, firewood. Glacial Arrowhead 26 concludes this weekend with personnel returning to their home garrisons. Leaders say it's important that Canadians are aware reservists operate in approximately 117 communities and play a role in defending Canadian Arctic sovereignty. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Hearst.
North Bay's Canadore College announcing today it will need to find $20 million in savings for the next fiscal year. The college will conduct an organizational review, which will include an evaluation of the college's structure, workforce complement, and resource allocation. Canadore will be taking a phased approach and will be offering one-time voluntary departure and retirement incentive programs. OPSU Local 657 President Jim Ronholm says he doesn't believe this will solve a $20 million deficit.
I expect that a certain number of employees will take them up on this offer. So we've seen the same kind of offers made at most of the other colleges in Ontario. I don't have a lot of faith that this solves the problem in any way. I think this is only just a piece of the problem, a piece of the puzzle, and I think that we will see further restructuring, possibly layoffs, certainly program closures going forward.
The college says future phases will be guided by ongoing assessments and consultations, adding the focus going forward will be protecting core academic priorities. Women in business, entrepreneurship, and leadership was the focus this morning of a panel as part of International Women's Day. CTV's Lindsay Alick has more tonight from the Sudbury Chamber of Commerce event.
450 people packed the Caruso Club Friday morning to hear from 4 women. One, a restaurant owner for over 50 years, another, a CEO, and 2 more with experience in the mining industry.
I feel like I could take on the world. The energy in this room has just been so uplifting and empowering. And I hope that everybody kind of takes that away.
Jennifer Berger is a geologist and mom of 2. She shared encouragement to other women in her shoes to focus on prioritization, not perfection.
We all want to do everything to the best of our abilities or beyond that. And, we feel that we have to be perfect and we don't want to put our hand up until it is perfect. And that's just not reality, not when you're juggling so many competing priorities. So we do have to prioritize.
The panel concluded asking the women what they would say to their younger self if they met for coffee.
She will have one question for me, and she will ask me, am I going to be okay at 15 years old? And I would say to her, yes, more than okay. You're going to feel underestimated, you're going to be tested, but hard work and courage, it's powerful and will carry you right through.
Cheer for one another, cheer for yourselves.
Take little steps. Small things help to build your confidence and will give you the courage when faced with adversity.
2026 marks 115 years since the creation of International Women's Day. This year, the theme is Give to Gain, a global call to step forward in solidarity for gender equality. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
There is momentum in the battle for equal recognition. There are achievements in sports, politics, economics at unprecedented levels. CTV's Natalie Van Roy now has more on the celebration for one important woman.
I didn't feel like a trailblazer. I was just doing what a client asked me to do, what a women's group asked me to do.
Former Justice of the Supreme Court of Canada, Rosalie Silberman Abella, was the first Jewish woman appointed to the court.
I didn't know in law school or in my own life that life was exclusionary for women. And from my clients, I knew how very unfair the laws were.
The City of Ottawa honoring her ahead of International Women's Day. A packed room. Honored to be present.
Rosie Abella was really incredible. I grew up following all the court decisions of the Supreme Court. I feel very lucky because of Justice Abella's decisions. I was able to marry my wife.
Abella was born in a displaced persons camp in Germany before her family came to Canada as refugees in 1950. From there, she dreamed big of being a lawyer and quickly rose through the ranks during her career.
To hear from a Jewish woman, especially in these times of heightened anti-Semitism, to hear her speak so proudly, so strongly about how important her Jewish identity is to her was so meaningful and touching and inspirational. It was truly an honor to be here.
A married mother of two, Abella says raising her family the toughest job because of how important it was. She shared this message on finding the right workplace.
You need to be where you can be who you are, because if you keep trying to fit yourself into a square peg and you're round, I find round gets bigger and bigger every year. You won't be happy.
For about 100 years, International Women's Day has celebrated achievements. Over the years, the day has marked gender parity and raises awareness on discrimination. Now it comes at a time when more women than ever are excelling in sport, leadership, and politics. Natalie Van Roy, CTV News.
Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, Rick will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the weather warnings we have in place, and we have a rainfall warning for pretty much the entire North Shore right now. We're getting a lot of rain. How much rain? Well, let's take a look at the radar here, and it looks like those living along the Georgian Bay. I'm looking at French River, North Bay. That system's going to move through there, and you're going to see the most by about this time tomorrow night. You're looking at 39 millimeters, French River and Parry Sound and Killarney, and that's going to continue right throughout the whole weekend, and that is going to make a mess for things, but it should melt some of that snow. Here are the current conditions. It says fog and Kapuskasing on the island, but that's probably more mist. We'll have details after the break.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome to Time Change Weekend. The time change will occur around 2 o'clock Sunday morning. We'll talk about that momentarily. Take a look at the forecast radar right now around Parry Sound, Algonquin Park, North Bay and Sudbury. Lots of precipitation. You can see that system moving through. That will continue into tomorrow as well. So again, rain overnight and rain tomorrow. Then we'll get a bit of a break in the action come Sunday. Sudbury, Nickel Belt, 5 to 10 millimeters for tomorrow, and drizzle as well. Time change Sunday, chance of showers. Monday, chance of showers. Tuesday, chance of flurries on the cool down to -2. -4 Wednesday, cloud cover. Thursday, some sun and cloud, and -3. Even your overnight conditions are going to get a little colder. How about Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma? Tomorrow, 5 millimeters, drizzle, lots of precipitation in the forecast for today. 6 degrees your high. Time change Sunday, chance of showers. Chance of showers Monday at 4. 1 degree Tuesday, chance of flurries. Some clouds on Wednesday, -3, -2 Thursday, some sun and cloud. Normally, you're sitting at around -1. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 5 to 10 millimeters for tomorrow. And on top of that, 5 centimeters of snow tomorrow evening. 2 degrees your expected high. Sunday, chance of sleet, 3 degrees there. Monday, 3 degrees as well, chance of sleet. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -8, and -6 Wednesday with the chance of flurries. -4 by next Thursday with the sun and cloud. Here we go now to Miskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. 10 to 15 millimeters of rain and drizzle tomorrow. 7 degrees your high. Sunday, chance of sleet, 3 degrees there. 6 degrees Monday, chance of showers. Chance of snow Tuesday at 40%, -5 your high. Wednesday, cloud cover, -3, and -3 once again Thursday. More clouds coming up by the end of next week. North Bay, West Nipissing, 5 to 10 millimeters of rain, risk of a thunderstorm. Drizzle, 9 degrees your high. 4 degrees on Sunday with the time change. Chance of showers. Chance of showers on Monday at 7. 0 cooling down Tuesday. Chance of flurries -3 and -2 Wednesday and Thursday. Some cloud cover on both days. So Ian, bear with me if you can. We've got rain this evening, overnight, continuing into tomorrow, and the time change at around 2 o'clock early Sunday morning. Talk about a forecast. Back to you.
A forecast indeed. Thanks so much, Rick. And as he was just mentioning, Sunday morning we do spring 1 hour ahead. Sault Ste. Marie Fire Services are reminding the public now is the time to check on some of your most important devices. Officials recommend testing smoke alarms and changing the batteries. They're also reminding folks to check or install carbon monoxide detectors in your home. Canadian shoppers are seeing their wallets squeezed each time they buy groceries. Well, a new free phone app developed in North Bay is looking to give shoppers more control at the checkout. CTV's Eric Tashner has the story.
More expensive food prices means tougher choices for Canadian grocery shoppers.
Having such staggeringly high grocery bills is really, in other aspects of my life, affecting me. And I've had to delay other payments before on the account of groceries.
The latest food price report produced by several Canadian universities projects the average family of 4 will pay almost $1,000 more for food this year, at over $17,500 for the total yearly bill.
I get the flyers, I see the sales, and you gotta be picky. You gotta go grocery store to grocery store and get the best deal.
Last bill, typically $200. I would typically shop maybe 2 times a month.
To help shoppers find the best deal, One Red Maple Inc., headquartered in North Bay, designed a new grocery savings app called Gopher.Run, an AI-powered tool that analyzes prices across nearby grocery stores and shows the user where each item is the cheapest. The app then provides a clear breakdown of savings.
We find the average family of 4 will save about 25% on their groceries just by buying the same product at the right place.
Users can upload or create a grocery list, and the app automatically shows where each item costs less.
Put in your postal code and you put in your radius, 10 kilometers from your postal code, how far you're willing to drive, and it pulls all the stores in that radius, and then we check all of those stores.
Beyond price comparison, the app integrates recipe-to-list functionality, grocery store flyer preview, and highlights Canadian products.
You can go on everybody's website and you can check the price of bananas at every single store, but to do that for 50 items and then make a list of what stores to go to optimize your spend is nearly impossible.
Huge resource to use for sure, especially for some of the low-income people.
As bills soar, cost-cutting has become a routine grocery shopping tradition. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. We'll have more on what's taking place in Sault Ste. Marie to remember a young man taken far too soon. As we first told you about last week, the city of Sault Ste. Marie has been going out of its way to honor a young man taken far too soon, Connor Dunn. With more on this remarkable young man, here's CTV's Corey Nordstrom.
It was a tragedy that took the life of 15-year-old Connor Dunn last April. Now the community is honoring the young athlete at a time when they could use him the most.
He's one of those kids that when times are tough, he can be silly or make kids laugh and turn a negative mood into a positive mood.
It's just it's like a big hole in your heart. He was such a big piece and now he's just gone, and it's really hard.
Recently, Dunn's number 19 jersey he wore with the Sioux Greyhounds U16 AA team was immortalized in his neighborhood arena in a game that featured his younger brother Cash and many former teammates in front of an emotional full house.
I've been Connor's friend for a very long time, and just seeing that go up, it's obviously very sad, and it kind of just hits you very hard.
Especially the memory of getting in that crescent around the jersey there and seeing it get released will definitely be something to remember.
To further pay tribute to Connor, a scholarship fund was created in his name. It centers around two of his loves, hockey and soccer. At Sault College, it will give financial support to men's and women's hockey players who display Dunn's level of kindness, leadership, and community spirit.
To be just, connected with that is a real honor, and I hope that it brings, future student athletes at our college the opportunities to continue in sports that they love, that obviously Connor loved.
He believed in inclusiveness. He was the kind of guy who didn't want to leave anybody behind, and so through this fund we hope to make sure that we honor that and leave no child behind who wants to be able to be involved in sport.
The details are still being finalized on the amount for each hockey scholarship. However, the funds have already helped 25 families afford organized soccer. Those who knew Connor best wish more than anything to have him back, but say that knowing his legacy will benefit others is fitting for such a special young man. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
It was Fan Appreciation Night down at the Sudbury Arena, and the Wolves did not fail to thrill the hometown crowd.
Much like Blake Clayton, Ethan Dean just never stops moving, ever. Gonchar on the outside, nice pass, shot comes, he scores!
Blake Clayton gets his 8th of the year on a pass from Artem Gonchar to help lift the Wolves to a 4-2 lead. That would be one of 2 goals for him tonight, which included an empty netter. Sudbury goes on to win this one 5-2. And a tough stop in Kitchener for the Sioux Greyhounds, who were up against a powerhouse Rangers tonight. They fall to the Rangers 3-0. Another tough night for the French River Rapids. They were in the Sioux tonight. They fall to the Thunderbirds 11-2. Powassan comes out on top over a visiting Sudbury Cubs 7-4. The Hearst Lumberjacks lose one tonight south of the border to the Sioux Eagles. Sioux wins 7-2. And the Espanola Paper Kings come out on top over Iroquois Falls 3-1. It was a busy day in downtown Sudbury as dozens gathered to learn more about how to live their best lives as they age. The Parkside Centre was packed for the Seniors Information and Active Living Fair. Held in partnership with Ontario's Ministry of Health, the event featured guest speakers and more than 40 vendors. Organizers say the goal of the fair is to connect older adults to the tools they need to stay healthy and socially engaged.
I think it's really important to have the information for seniors so that they know what's available to them. I was talking to one of the vendors earlier this morning about income taxes and the fact that a lot of seniors don't know just the basic tax credits that they can apply to, that they're eligible for. So it's just a good way to get that information into the hands of the seniors who need it so badly.
How to navigate through the system, what services are out there is something people largely have no idea about. For instance, we had a lady come, she was legally blind, and she had no idea that someone can help her do groceries and that sort of thing, which is a huge thing for seniors, especially when they're battling a new diagnosis. It becomes very overwhelming, very scary, and they don't have easy access to their doctor all the time.
To learn more about anything that's available for seniors. This way, I teach also seniors classes with a few other ladies, and we like to inform them with all sorts of information because they can't come here. So that's why I'm picking up a lot of information for them.
I heard about it, and I wanted to come out, and I live alone, and so just something to do.
Organizers estimate roughly 300 people attended today's event. Finally, for us tonight, a special anniversary is happening this May in Sault Ste. Marie. In the spring, it will be the 100th birthday of the Kiwanis Club. The group was chartered May 20th, 1926, and it's an organization that serves children in the community. A former Kiwanis Club president tells CTV News the group fundraises all year long for projects that benefit young people.
Park, that's the old Rosedale Park, was revitalized in cooperation with the other local Kiwanis Club here in Sault Ste. Marie, and we have a beautiful facility now for the children in the area, and we are actually looking at doing a phase 3 to go with a quiet zone, so that is more fundraising that we'll be doing throughout the year.
St. Jules also says the Kiwanis Club provides scholarships for students at Algoma University and Sault College. He says the Service Club has a leadership program at the St. Francis French Immersion School. By the way, the kickoff to the 100th anniversary is tomorrow. It's called Dance Through the Decades at Grand Gardens downtown. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Friday night. For the latest news anytime, remember you can head to our website, ctvnewsnorthernontario.ca. You can also download our CTV News app. Thanks for watching. If you're out at the Sudbury Polar Plunge tomorrow benefiting Special Olympics, I will see you there. I'll also be at the Sudbury Women's Center International Women's Day event. Looking forward to meeting everyone. For the rest of you, have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to spring those clocks ahead, and we'll see you right back here Monday evening. Good night.